Hello everyone, I'm Justin and I'm here with Don to talk about our latest training initiative. So what have you got going on in training now, Don?
Well, Justin, we have a couple things going on, but probably the biggest thing we have going on right now is a human performance initiative, particularly in the area of cookbooking.
Cookbooking? That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, sure. Cookbooking is actually using a procedure without giving it any critical thought, and that's whether it makes sense or not. So we're focusing our efforts on that.
I see. So what type of things are involved in this training? What kind of objectives do you have?
Well, the first thing we want people to be able to understand is, just as I explained to you, what is the definition of cookbooking. Also be able to identify when is a good procedure, when is a procedure not good, and when should a procedure be applied and not used, when to give it that critical thought as to where it doesn't fit for the situation that I'm using right now.
So it sounds like you're trying to develop a lot of critical thought. That can be kind of hard to do in a classroom. What are your methods for trying to develop that in your students?
Well, that's correct. We can't use traditional death by PowerPoint where we just put it up and have an instructor point their finger down and say, learn this. We're using problem-centered learning, and the idea is that we're going to give an exercise to the students, basically a decision-making type exercise where we give them a scenario, a problem to actually solve, and allow them to interact and to solve the problem themselves. And we'll have a facilitator going around providing guidance and help them find the questions with the desired results.
I see. I think I understand what you mean. Could you give us maybe an example of what that scenario might entail so we can kind of close that picture and bring it home?
Well, in one case we would give them a scenario. In a case with our company, we had a scenario where somebody followed a procedure blindly. They didn't give it critical thought, and as a result we ended up having a frequency violation and ended up resulting in NERC fines. So our goal that really gave us the indicator was how many more procedures do we have out there that people just follow blindly. So we were actually taking a real-time scenario and going to lay it out for them and expect them to take the existing procedure, apply the procedure, see if it makes sense, and whether it's appropriate to move forward or not.
I see. So it sounds like a pretty engaging type of thing, but how do you keep them locked in as you go forward? You present them one scenario, and then they solve that. Is that the end of the training, or is there more?
Actually, it's not. First, we start them off at a base level to get them used to good procedure writing, being able to apply simple procedures, and that at each phase, as we kick up the intensity a notch, and we expect them to use more critical thought, more discussion, draw in a bigger group of subject matter experts. And again, the idea is to have everybody in the team with their diverse knowledge providing the solutions.
Well, that sounds pretty great. What kind of cost is there associated with developing and presenting this type of training?
Well, compared to the cost of compliance or violations or actually risk to public safety or loss of life, it's very inexpensive. And it's reproducible, can be used in many scenarios. It also can be expanded. In the case I gave you, we had a frequency violation in the generation world for the transmission operators and people working out in the field. That can be duplicated out to them as well.
Well, thank you very much, Don.
Well, thank you.
Separate two eggs. I guess that's far enough. Put them in the turkey. Any dumbbell would know that. Certainly put them in the turkey. See what's next. Half a dozen oysters. One. Here's one we didn't clean. Well, we'll fix that up. Get out. Look at that stuff. Wouldn't clean them, eh? Pinch of salt. How do you like that? Then, almost got it myself. It backfired. Oh, well, tomato, certainly. Red and ripe puree tomato. Right inside it. Right tomato.
You idiot. You imbecile. What'd you put in that turkey?
Like the book says. This can of tomatoes.